I welcome you back to this video lecture, and in this video lecture we are going to talk about the blend tool. Okay, so our blend tool is right here under where we still have the shadow, the contour, and the third tool is what you're talking about, which is the blend tool. Now this blend tool helps you to blend two objects together. Okay, so now let's produce this object right here because we are not going to be using it. So not just objects, we can blend two pictures together, we can blend so many things together, but we're just working with objects. Maybe when we get to advanced learning, we're going to learn how to use our blending tools to make our work beautiful. Okay, so let's go on with this. All right, and let's give this a color. Let's reduce it to be smaller so it doesn't occupy all our space. We can duplicate, Ctrl D, and bring this one right here, and then we can give this another color. So now we want these two colors to blend together as one, thereby giving us various shapes and making it look how we want it to look. Okay, so let's go on and click our blend tool. When you look closely on this blend tool, you'll see that it has the features on it, and this is the way these two objects are going to blend together. So let's select the tool. Now you just have to select where you want to blend, and you drag. So dragging on these two objects and leaving it, you see we blended these two colors, blending blue with red. Okay, so it looks like we have multiples of squares right here, but trust me, the only active one is this first one and the second one right here. Okay, so now let's check other settings of this blending tool and what it can do for us. We can just come right here on the preset and we can go to straight 8 steps. This is where you set the steps of your blending. Okay, you can just go with 8 steps. You can as well go with 10 steps. You can go with 20. Okay, and you can also go with rotation 90 degree. It's going to rotate this to 90 degree, and you can also go with loop bend, going to bend this blending. Okay, so we're going to expand this so we see the effect very well, and I think we're not getting what we want because our effects are not too close. So let's keep this one right here. Let's try it with circle. It goes well with circle. Okay, so let's try it with ellipse tool. We can just give this one, okay, let's make it red, and then another ellipse tool. Let's make this one yellow. Let's come here and take our blending tool again and blend these two objects together. It blended the yellow with the red. Okay, we can either drag towards the yellow or we can drag from yellow towards the red, depending on how we want it. This is where we'll drag the position of it. We can stretch and reposition right from here. So going back to presets, so we can see the effect we will have very clear. You can go with 8 steps. It added the number of steps we'll have in our blending mode. Okay, you can come right here and go with 10 steps, the same thing, 20. All right, so we can go to rotation 90 degree. It's going to rotate it. Remember, whenever you rotate a circle, the effect is not always going to be visible. So let's go to loop blend, that is bending our blending. So look, this thing looks like a caterpillar though, but it looks fine. All right, so this is how you make these things happen. So remember, we'll have our outline here. We can just drop our blend tool and remove the outline, because you can still select your first object and your last object, but these ones you can't select them because they blended together. Okay, so you can come here and remove the outline, and we can as well come here and remove the outline. So we can just use this thing and create a maggot. Okay, but let's not do that. Okay, let's just go on with other options we have here. So here being where you can set the position and where you can set the size of your objects. Here is where you can add the number of steps. You can reduce right from here, making it 9. You can increase right from here depending on the number of blend objects you want. Here is where you make your rotation. Okay, remember we rotated it before. We can just keep clicking here to change the position to the other side, or we can just click here to change the position with the to the other side, okay, depending on what we want. So right here is where we'll have to check to make sure our loop blend works very well. If this is not checked, then our loop blend is not going to work fine. So let's uncheck, and you see every effect we have right here is gone. We can check again so that our loop blend will appear. Keeping this one checked simply means we have direct blend, that is blending from yellow to red, and you see that the effect of red is not much, rather yellow took almost everything. So we can come right here. This is blending with different colors. Okay, we can check this for blending of different colors. We can as well check this for equal blending, which is counterclockwise. Okay, so it blends from red to the middle and from yellow to the middle, so both of them blends in equal proportion. So more blending option is, this is where you get more blending options, and which some of them are not active because you're just blending with an object. Okay, so this is where you select the starting object and the ending object. So you can select a new start, or you can show start, or you can select new end, or you can show end. So we can just click on show end. It shows us the ending object. We can just come right back and select our object. We can come this place as well and select show end. So this shows us where we started and where we ended. So if we are not okay with our blending setting, we can come right here and cancel the blending entirely. So when you click on clear blend, everything we did is going to go out, and we'll be left with the two objects, which is yellow and red. Okay, we can just go to edit and undo clear, so it gives us what we have before, or we can just start from the beginning again to blend these two objects together again. So I believe with this we understand perfectly how every one of these works and how we can use them to blend two objects together. So you go on and practice more with it, and make sure you understand how they work perfectly well, so that when we get to major course in this CorelDRAW, it will not be difficult for you. So follow me step by step, and you're going to learn everything you need to learn. Thank you, and see you. Hi, I welcome you back to this video lecture, and in this video lecture we are going to talk about the distortion tool, which we'll have right here. The same place we selected our shadow and our blend tool, we have the distort tool right there. So this is our distort tool. Okay, so let's go on and create an object first, and give it a color so it can be visible. So what we're doing can be visible and clear. So we can come right here on our distort, and we can just drag over the object we have. But before then, we must make sure we know what we want by checking the preset. So when you click on this preset, it's going to transform the object entirely on its own. Okay, this one is twister, and this one is stamp, while this is zipper. So you see each of them has the way they look. So you can just click on the object and come right here and select a preset depending on what you want. But if any of these right here is not what you want to create it by yourself, you can use this plus icon right here to select a distort you have in your system, or then you can come right here and make the distort yourself. Okay, so right here is push and pull distortion, just the same way we have it here, but here it means that we can redesign this the way we want it, just like this. Okay, so we can pull it forward or backward to resize. Okay, the same thing here. We can just click on this. Sorry, we've already applied this one here, so let's minimize this and keep it somewhere right here. So let's create another object entirely, and I'll give it a color, this time blue, and go back to our distort and select the second one right here. So you click on any point of your choice and then you drag. Then you see it keeps changing, all right, depending on how we want it to look. If we drag very far, it makes it look very bad. If we drag close, makes it get our object. So you have to be careful when using this distort, especially when you're doing these things on your own. So this is what we're able to get with this. Let's minimize this and keep it somewhere right here, and then come right here and select a new object entirely, give it a color red, go back to our distort, and then try the last one we have here. So here is going to give you this twister distortion here, so you can twist this object to anything of your choice. So you have to make sure that this circular region, that is the cursor pointing at the circle, is selected, and then you have to drag clockwise or anti-clockwise. See, the more I'm drawing, the more it's twisting, okay, until you get the exact thing you want. You can stop right there, okay. So maybe you want to increase the number of twists you have here already. You can just come right here and keep adding. You see, keep adding numbers, and we can reduce the numbers we have as well. Here is where we'll make our rotation. Whenever you add a number, it rotates. Just keep your eyes on this right here, so you see the rotation moving. So the same way we can just add a new distortion. So when we are done, maybe we want to add a new distortion to this one we already created. You can just come right here and add a new distortion, and we can clear our distortion right here, okay. So I believe this distortion is very simple, and we can work with it easily. So let's go back to this one, which was this, and we can change the preset. Now this is how rough you want the edges to appear. You can drag to increase the size, okay. You see we have 35 here. The more we drag, the more the sizes increases, okay. We'll have 53 now. We can then reduce it to 40. Then right here helps you to increase the size as well, how sharp you want it to be. Look at what we have right here. The more we increase, the more it's adding the numbers of, should I say, a comb it has. So right here is where you randomize. This one looks rough, so you have to randomize it, so let it appear the way it wants to appear. This way you smoothen it. You just make sure that one is not checked, so it looks smooth, just like we did here, because this one is for randomizing and here is for smoothing. But you can just click on this to give you the exact same effect. Now you can just localize distortion, just make it smaller so that the effects will not be way too big, okay. You can uncheck this too, or you can check it. You see, when you check and check, there is always a difference, okay. This is where you add a new distortion if you don't want the one you have here, and this is where you clear your distortion. This one converts your distortion to curve, which we're still going to talk about. So let's go on and make sure we work this with this. So we can copy the distortion property from this place. As we've copied the property, we can just add it to any shape we have right here, okay. So we can select any object. The object we selected is invalid, so we are not interested in doing that again. So we can just reduce everything we have here, and then we can check out what we have achieved using our distort. So let's minimize this too, bring it right here and make it bold again, so we see clearly everything. So this one goes with this, the first one, which is push and pull distortion. Now the second one, the zipper distortion, goes with this, and the third one, the twister distortion, goes with this, okay. So this is where we set our distort. Merely looking at this right here, you know you can create a flower with it just think about it. Okay, we can just try something little by duplicating. Come here and make the rotation and like 30-degree, so it gives us a perfect rotation. And here it is again. We can change this color to red. The same way we can continue adding new and new and new until we get something that looks like flower. Okay, so I believe we understand perfectly how this distortion work, and we should go on and practice with it over and over again so we can get used to it. All right, so thank you very much and see you in my next video lecture. Hi, welcome back, and in this video lecture we are going to talk about the envelope tool, which is right here. We're still on these tools because we have plenty of them right inside here. So this is the tool we are going to talk about, the envelope tool. Okay, we're going to learn how this envelope tool works and what they do for us. Okay, so before we go into that, I will want us to create a text, because it's more better on text than objects. Okay, so we can see the effects very well. So we can go on and write Laurel, and we can increase the size of the text from here to 100, and we can change the font to maybe Arial rounded. Okay, so here we'll have our Laurel text. So let's go on and click on our envelope tool and see what it does. So once you click on it, you have your preset right here where you can just choose from the ones they have already. So we can choose circular. See what it does. It makes our laurel looks like a circle. You can see rectilinear, just like the normal way it was before. We can also see rectilinear slant, which will make our laurel looks slanty, you see. So this is not really as good as we wanted, because we want a situation whereby our laurel will be visible so that a reader can be able to read what we have right there. We'll have pinch right here, you see, just like dragging the middle together and leaving the ends the way it is. Then we also have push down. Okay, it pushes down, and we also have push up. So these are where we can get our preset from, and if we don't have this preset right from here, we can just use the plus icon. If we have anyone we downloaded online in our system, we can as well make these adjustments by ourselves. Okay, we can just clear the envelope and leave it the way it was before. You can just go back and select the envelope tool. Now right here is where you can reshape it again. If you don't choose from the preset, you can choose right from here. Okay, we can just go with this, and then when we drag, it's going the way we have it right here. We can as well select this. We can drag either up, it goes in a rounded shape, and we can as well use this, can go up in a rounded shape. We can as well drag down in a rounded shape. Okay, so but this is the best way it can look. We can come here and select how we want it to appear, horizontal, or maybe the original, that is how we left it before, or putty, which looks almost the same like the original, or then we have vertical, which is almost like the original. Okay, selecting this means keep the lines. You can uncheck to remove the lines when you're done. So this is where you add a new envelope. Okay, so we can add a new envelope entirely right here, and this is where we create a new envelope from. Maybe you have somewhere you want to create a new envelope. So here we'll have copy envelope property. We can copy the properties of this particular text and add to another text we might have done. So we don't just go on and keep repeating the same thing, because at the end of the day we might not get the exact thing we have done right here before. So we can clear the envelope when we're not okay with what we have achieved. We can just clear. This will only clear the last envelope you have added. okay, to not clear everything you have right in the envelope. All right, so right here we'll have rectangular, and right here we'll have freehand. So these are the ways. Is that you choose the rectangular envelope or you create it by yourself. Okay, keeping this selected helps us to make these ones effective for us. All right, so this helps us to adjust, okay, to any shape of our choice. All right, using our envelope tool, we can just do Ctrl Z to get it back to a normal shape. Depending on what we want, we just have to set the envelope tool the way we want it to appear. So this envelope tool works on text, it works on objects, depends on where you want the envelope tool to appear. But most times the major places we see this envelope tool are on our text, because sometimes we'll see a crazy text somebody must have made and we'll just be like, wow, where on earth did this person get this font? It's not actually a font, it's using an envelope tool to make your text look different from the font you might have in your system. Okay, so I believe with this envelope tool is very simple and we have understand it better. Okay, so we're going to go through the other tools we have right here. So this is the extrude tool and we're going to treat that in our next lecture, so keep following so that you grab everything one after the other. All right, thank you and see you in my next video lecture.